Lukey, I've done my hair today. Must have meant I actually went out.
Liverpool are ready to compete with Manchester United to sign Chelsea midfielder Cesc Fabregas should the 29-year-old decide to leave Stamford Bridge in the summer. I think the last part of that rumour is maybe the most important if the midfielder decides to leave. Which means it comes down to, does he want more first team football or does he want to stay and potentially win more trophies? Because I think Chelsea have a far better chance of winning trophies in the long term than Liverpool do, despite Liverpool's continued development. Liverpool also already have a stacked midfield, so it would take possibly a Lucas Leiva or a Jordan Henderson to leave before he would be guaranteed a first team spot. Otherwise, he would be in the same as Chelsea, on the subs bench playing almost every other match. So it's an interesting one. I think he'll probably stay at Chelsea. If the Premier League leaders decide to sell Fabregas, the Spain international will reject a move to AC Milan because he has little interest in playing in Italy. If he decides to stay, if the club decides they want to keep him, there's a lot of ifs around these rumours. Manchester United have contacted Torino about a deal for 23-year-old Italy striker Andrea Bellotti, who has an £84.5 million buyout clause in his contract with the Serie A club. They basically picked up the phone and said, "Hey Torino, we want to talk to you about this player. This rumour gives me nothing else to work with." They've spoken to him. Is that a Twitter conversation or something? Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola wants to prioritise signing homegrown players this summer and is confident of bringing Tottenham's England right-back Kyle Walker to the Etihad Stadium. The only conclusion I can come to, at least, in the reason why Kyle Walker did not start in the North London derby was because he's done something or said something along the lines of, "I want to move to Manchester City and they've spoken to me already." Obviously, he came on in the last, last 20 minutes or something and did actually play. But he's clearly their first choice and their best right back, so why didn't he start the game? Unless he was injured or tired or something, but Tottenham haven't come out to say anything along those lines. Spurs midfielder Christian Eriksen has been linked with a move to Barcelona, but the 25-year-old Denmark international's agent says he is focused on playing a key role at the White Hart Lane club. If you get the chance to move to Barcelona, why would you turn it down? I'm also pretty sure, because apparently he signed a contract extension which tripled his wages from £35,000 a week to £110,000 or something like that. I'm pretty sure he'd get double that if he went to Barcelona, because he is that good of a talent. But if Tottenham aren't going to sell, we all know how famous a tough negotiator Daniel Levy is. Will he be able to negotiate his way out of this one? Because I'm sure he'll either want a very good price tag or a very good player in return. Chelsea turned down the chance to sign Monaco striker Kylian Mbappe 4 years ago for just £17,000. 4 years ago, the kid was 14, which means he probably had no idea what he wanted to do when he got older. So it's difficult to say that was a bad move because hindsight is so 2020, especially in this situation. Meanwhile, Mbappe's uncle has said Manchester United and Manchester City are options for the France striker should he leave Monaco this summer. They may be options, but if he moves to a team higher up than Monaco but not at the very top, then he'll certainly develop better. Either that or just stay where you are, because if something's working for you and you're enjoying it, just keep going along those lines. Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea has been heavily linked with a move to La Liga giants Real Madrid, but the 26-year-old Spain international has not told the club he wants to leave in the summer. Again, if you're happy where you are, stay where you are. Why would you want to change things for the sake of changing things? It is the overriding rule of the grass is always greener, which we've seen so many times is simply not true. If you're happy, stay where you are. But if he is happy where he is, come out and say that. Try and kill the rumours. Don't just let them persist. that only makes things worse in the long term. People get frustrated and bored about reading the same thing over and over. Chelsea will offer goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois a new and improved contract amid fears Real Madrid will move for the Belgium international this summer. I think Real Madrid have made it quite clear they're going to go after a new goalkeeper. It just depends which one they're going to land on at this point. The wheel spins, and today it lands on Thibaut Courtois, apparently. In terms of Chelsea offering him a new deal, I think it's a good move. If they want to ward off interest, more money is often a good way to do it. Chelsea's Cesar Azpilicueta has emerged as a key target for Barcelona after the Spanish champions' technical secretary Robert Fernandez said signing a right-back is their number one priority. Yeah, Barcelona have spent the majority of this season playing Sergi Ribeiro, who's traditionally a central midfield player from their La Masia academy, as a right-back, due to injuries to the likes of Alexis Vidal, and already selling players like Marc Montoya. So signing a right-back is a priority. I think they're right to say that and to put that as a priority. So which one are they going to end up signing? Will Azpilicueta want to leave Chelsea? These are all questions that may not ever get answered, but we kind of hope they will. Tottenham are reluctant to spend a club record amount on Crystal Palace winger Wilfried Zaha because he is likely to play for the Ivory Coast in the African Cup of Nations every other season. Everton's England midfielder Ross Barkley has emerged as another key target. Zaha plays on the right wing predominantly. Barkley plays at centre attacking midfield, which is exactly where Dele Alli plays. Do you want to upset Dele Alli by signing a direct competition player for him, or are you gonna give up on Lamela? I think it's Eric Lamela. Are you going to give up on Lamela and sign a replacement for him? I think the reasoning behind them not pulling the trigger on the Zaha deal is completely stupid. You're going to lose him for, a month every other year. If the player's worth having at the club, keep him and play him every other month that he's available. Very flimsy reasoning as to why not to sign a player there. Everton have fought off interest from Arsenal by tying 20-year-old striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin to a new 5-year deal. Everton have done really well this season, and so has Ronald Koeman in bringing through the youngsters at the club. And it really does seem finally as if a new generation of talent is coming through at Everton, because the squad has been slowly ageing over the last few years. If the youngsters are finally coming through and showing their stripes, good on Everton. Good on the manager for trusting the youth in the side. It can only mean good things as long as the players continue to develop and perform, and they've not slowed down all through this season, so they've given no reason as to why they would start slowing down their development. Lyon and France striker Alexandre Lacazette has warned clubs who are trying to sign him that he will only move to a Champions League team this summer. So that's the rumours about him moving to Arsenal out then, surely. Because I think at this point Arsenal aren't going to qualify for the Champions League for the first time in several years. I think it's been on the cards that he wants to move for a long time. It just leaves us to determine which club he's going to end up at. And I think there are several teams around Europe that will absolutely love to have him on board. Sunderland striker Jermaine Defoe has been told he would thrive at Bournemouth by Cherry's defender and former teammate Adam Smith. I think again it's on the cards that he's going to leave Sunderland now they've been relegated. Which Premier League team is going to pick him up? He's not going to play every game now unless he goes to another relegation threatened side that desperately need an experienced striker. So, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to move to a mid-table side and he's going to play 50% of the games and so get 50% of the goals that he usually would. But I also think that's a very good and dignified way for a player to go out. Either that or he could go back to the MLS where he's been before and try and continue to perform there. But I think the only thing for certain is that he will definitely leave Sunderland during the transfer window. West Ham boss Slaven Bilic's future at the club will be determined by how his team performs against Tottenham and Liverpool in their final 2 home matches of the season. You don't judge a man's job on 2 matches, you judge it on the season as an entirety. Plus, if you go past that and just notice the amount of times that the chairman and the board directors, whatever at West Ham, the higher-ups have come out and said, we have faith in him, we trust our manager. This statement makes no sense at all. You don't come out and give your support for someone and then suddenly say, oh, but we're judging whether you get to stay at the club on your last 2 matches of the season. Just doesn't add up. Arsenal have been linked with a summer move for Malaga midfielder Pablo Fornals as a replacement for 32-year-old Spain teammate Santi Cazorla at the Emirates Stadium. Santi's getting on a bit. They need a replacement. Is this youngster that I've never really heard of a proper replacement? I don't think so. Unless he comes in and is an absolute blast in the Premier League, which is obviously an option, is on the cards, but the likelihood of it happening, quite low, I'm afraid. Tottenham have added Bournemouth's Norway striker Joshua King to the list of summer transfer targets. I think they need more strikers in general. If Joshua King's got a bit of Premier League experience, he's been around the block a few times, so I don't see why it would be a poor move to get him in. But he certainly, I don't think he can pretend he's going to be first choice. I think the only way this happens is if he comes in and knows he is going to be very much a squad player and playing the cup games and very rarely, a substitute appearance maybe in the Premier League. And finally, Manchester United players have been banned from posting on social media from inside the changing rooms after Ander Herrera posted a video of him pretending to throw a birthday cake into Juan Mata's face. When you get a bunch of 20-something males around, they're going to start playing pranks on each other and doing slightly silly things. I don't think that's a reason to stop them posting on social media. There's so much brand hype nowadays around what the players do on social media, and if they're having a bit of fun and everybody's happy with it, let them continue. We see Paul Pogba's hijinks on social media all the time. Are you really telling me that they're going to stop the world record signing player from posting stuff on social media? I don't think so. Anyway, I've got to the bottom of the list. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time.